Welcome students. Today we'll discuss regarding impact of strike and lockout in case of royalty accounts. Now, strike and lockout is a situation where the business goes for a lockdown. It might be a strike made by the employees, or it might be certain other reasons for which the lockout has taken place. Now, this lockout in a particular business may continue for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or even more. Now, in that case, if there is a strike or if there is a lockout, the lessee's burden of paying the rent or paying the royalty is increased because the work has not taken place, but still he has to pay to the lessor. So in order to bear this situation, the lessor gives an opportunity to the lessee that in case of strike and lockout, he can reduce his minimum rent. Now, in that case, in case of strike and lockout, how to reduce the minimum rent? Now, the minimum rent can be reduced in any of the three situations, in any of the three ways. First way is actual royalty earned will become the minimum rent. Actual royalty earned will become the minimum rent. Now, what is this situation all about? Actual royalty earned will become the minimum rent. Now, here in this situation, say for example, in the year in which strike has taken place, the actual royalty was rupees 8,000 and the minimum rent was rupees 10,000. Now, in the first case, if this agreement has been made between the lessor and lessee, now in this case the reduced minimum rent will be, I am saying as RMR, reduced minimum rent, it will be rupees how much? Rupees 8,000. I think it is clear, the first situation. Now, coming to the second situation. Second situation is minimum rent is to be reduced proportionately. Minimum rent is to be reduced proportionately. Now, here, for example, the minimum rent is rupees 10,000. I am taking the case of 10,000 again. And the strike, it might be strike or it might be lockout. For example, the strike has taken place for 3 months. Now, what does it mean? That the strike has taken place for 3 months. So the work has taken place for how many months? 9 months. So now what can we do? We'll have to reduce the minimum rent. Now, how to reduce the minimum rent? It has to be reduced proportionately. So if I say what will be the reduced minimum rent, RMR, 10,000 into 9 by 12. Why 9 by 12? Because the work has taken place for 9 months. So it comes to rupees 7,500. So earlier the minimum rent was rupees 10,000. Now, as because strike has taken place for 3 months, so it has been reduced to rupees 7,500. How 7,500? 10,000 into 9 by 12. So I hope the second point is also clear. Now come to the third point. The third point is short working is to be reduced proportionately. Now, what does it mean? Short working to be reduced proportionately. Now, again, let me take the example. The actual royalty, for example, is rupees 8,000 and the minimum rent, actual minimum rent is rupees, for example, 10,000. So now what will be the short working? In this case, the short working will be rupees 2000. Now first we will have to find out the reduced short working. So now what will be the reduced short working? 2000. I am taking again the case strike for 3 months. So the reduced short working, how will you calculate? 2000 into 9 by 12, because the strike has taken place for 3 months. So it will be the work has taken place for 9 months. So it comes to rupees 1500. So the reduced short working is rupees 1500. So now what will be the reduced minimum rent? So the reduced minimum rent will be actual royalty plus reduced short working, that is 8000 plus 1500. So it comes to rupees 9500. So this is the way for calculating short working to be reduced proportionately in case of strike. It will be mentioned clearly in the question that in case of strike how to deal with the situation, or in case of lockout how to deal with the situation. So if you have been asked that in case of lockout this is to be followed, so you will apply this formula, and accordingly the other two formulas also as mentioned in the question. So I hope this concept is clear. You can have a overall look. You can take the screenshot of the same for your reference. So thank you very much.